Hi everyone, welcome to another My Life in Objects. So another book themed episode. It's been a while since I've done, any My Life in Objects video actually, but as I mentioned in a previous programming related video, I'd recently purchased a book which ticked lots of boxes in terms of stuff I'm after for the study of comparative programming languages. So that's what arrived today in the post when I got back from a lovely trip down to Martinique Beach in Nova Scotia, and when I arrived back home this parcel had arrived, so I figured I would open it up on camera. And then in the second half of the video I'll talk about another book that I have, which isn't a new book. I got it recently, very reasonably priced, which is a second-hand book about Erlang. So we'll have a look at that as well. So I'm just going to open this up. See how this survived the trip. It did come from within Canada, but as you know, nowadays they don't do a great job of stopping this stuff from jumping around in the packaging. So let me just get that light a little bit off to the side so it doesn't glare so much. So here we go. Programming Language Explorations it's called. Just came out August of 2024. And as you can see here, so this is the second edition. Yep. So we've got some basic principles here, programming language elements as it's calling it. And then, there we go. So just try and correct that light a bit so it doesn't glare so much. How's that? That's a bit better, isn't it? Yeah, so then we've got individual chapters on Lua, JavaScript, TypeScript, Python, Ruby, Java, Kotlin, Julia, Clojure, Haskell, Go, C, Swift, Rust, and then additional languages divided into the classics, crystallizations of style, scripting, the ML family, systems languages, concurrency, which features Erlang and Elixir, which are programs that run on the beam. We've got Paracel, Chapel, multi-paradigm languages as well. There's C-sharp's in there along with Scala. And then the web, PHP, Dart, Elm, Grain, quantum computing languages, and then esoteric languages. So I'm going to do a quick flip through. So if it's a sort of, subject area you're interested in, and as I said in a previous video, it's something that I've really been looking for, a modern book that takes a nice look across multiple languages and multiple paradigms. And I think this is definitely going to be it. So yeah, we've got some basic programming language concepts. It's one of these books, actually, it doesn't really matter for me, but I'm not too sure whether you have to have a little bit of a understanding of programming languages to start with, although it does explain the rudiments, and this way you can sort of get a nice feel of how these chapters are laid out. And what I've noticed is in each chapter, where it's appropriate, there is a commonality of features that are covered. So if you are doing, like comparative analysis of a language, or interested in the differences between languages, that should work out quite well. Some nice exercises here, actually. I hadn't realised that. That's going to be cool. Okay, lots of exercises for exploring. Well, this is going to be fun. I'm looking forward to this. The question is, will I go through this systematically? Probably. There is some reasoning behind the order of these languages, and as far as I know, it's not chronological. I believe it's based on you know, their strengths, their paradigms, their idioms, and in terms of, you know, what makes sense for the flow of the book. So yeah, I'll be interested to see how that manifests itself. Maybe I'll have to do a follow-up video at some point to report back on this, and let me know, anybody watching this, in the comments section, if you actually have this book already or something similar. I'm always interested in other purchases as well. Yeah, interesting box here. First appeared, created, recognised for. Yeah, I'm going to thoroughly enjoy. And also I was hoping this is the sort of book where you can just sit down with a nice beverage and read without necessarily a computer in front of you. Over the years I found something that's been really useful, and it probably dates back to when I first learnt programming, when I first learnt BASIC, back in the sort of, well, it would be the, well, I suppose very, very, very late 70s, early 80s. And in sort of first time around, which would have been 79, I had to send coding sheets off to, I suppose, what would have been some sort of timeshare computer. So I'm assuming it was the accounting computer used by the school board. And you'd have to fill in these paper sheets with your BASIC written on it. And then you'd get back the results like a couple of weeks or a month later. And it was only really, wasn't until, actually no, it would have been 78, wouldn't it? So yeah, 78 was when we were doing that. 79 into 80 was when I actually finally got my hands on a Commodore PET that they bought. But my point is, for a whole year, and you know, because I didn't have a home computer either, I was doing a lot of coding on, you know, paper and pen. So I'm sort of used to reading through code and sort of imagining it running in my head. So yeah, it's going to work out quite nicely the way this is laid out. You can see the code is really easy to read. It's not too buried away. I'm loving the look of these exercises to do. Actually, it's a nice mixture here of reading and writing. Oh, that rather nice sort of chirping you might be able to hear in the background is Maven, or Mav the kitty, adding his own commentary there. Moving on to Java. Yep. Wow. Yep. Been very excited for the arrival of this book. It only took a few days to come, actually. I spent 2 days deliberating over whether to buy it or not. Yeah, I'm glad I did. Just seeing what's in here. Yep, sounds like Mav's going to enjoy it too, by all accounts. So there's Julia. And we've got Closure. Yeah, it's a language I certainly fancy revisiting again. And it would be nice to see it sort of explained through a different lens. Haskell. What have we got next? Go, of course, yeah. Now the bit I was curious at, I noticed things were getting quite condensed in the table of contents. So we move on to C quite late in the book, which is interesting. So yeah, it'd be fun to see what it has to say about that. Oh, there's Swift. Okay, good. It'd be nice to look at Lua first, because that's, you know, that early chapter, the first language they discuss in any depth, is something I've never looked at. So, and we've got Rust, which I have dabbled with, so that's going to be cool. And then some additional languages. Oh, I see how they've done this. So yeah, we've got a little, few paragraphs on each of the classic stuff. Okay, so it just gives you a bit of a background there. I wonder if there's any interesting assignments or exercises. There's prologue. Okay. IO I did take a look at. It's interesting they cover that. Factor, some scripting stuff. Oh, you'll see. Okay, so it's fairly tightly packed here. Esoteric languages. I have a whole book on esoteric languages actually, so that's not one of the reasons why I really bought this. A little bit on quantum languages. So what do they have as a... So they don't really have any... Yeah, it's just a tour there. So there's no real exercise section or stuff to go away and do. And then we've got a little chapter on concepts. Okay. Interesting. That's a good chapter to have just to wrap things up actually. Okay, yeah, that's a great idea. And then we've got the glossary. Cool. So yeah, thoroughly looking forward to that. Nice cover. Okay, and the other book I just wanted to mention in passing because, yeah, why not? So this is actually a second-hand book. I picked this up. I was pretty pleased about this. This came from the UK for the princely sum of $13 all in, which was amazing. And it's one of 4 books that are name checked on the Erlang website. Now you'll notice with, I think, all of these books bar about one, they're sort of older books relatively speaking. So this one was printed way back in 2009, but it is by certainly one of the authors I recognise from the Computer File channel. And I know he also talks at conferences, and he's heavily involved with Erlang. And of course, there's other books by Erlang. There's a couple of books which are by the original co-creators of Erlang. And then there's, I think, another one is called something like Learn Erlang for Great Good. I think that's how it's said, and that is more, I believe, a more recent book, but it is available online for free. This book is actually harder to track down online, which is one of the reasons why I bought it. I mean, obviously you can buy a Kindle edition version of it, but I do like these versions. I think I've mentioned before, and I'll have to go through some of them. I have a collection of some O'Reilly books, which to me have both personal and nostalgia reasons, I suppose, or for still keeping and having, even though they're sort of a bit out of date now. But this is one that I wanted to add to my collection, and certainly there's aspects of Erlang that I wanted to learn about, which are timeless, really. So yeah, so you can see I've started to work my way through this a little bit in my sort of quest to learn Erlang, but I feel that this is definitely going to be I'm going to be reading this a lot in the evenings. So thanks once again for watching. Bye for now, and I will catch you in a future episode.